Hello, welcome to the Outside Man podcast where we talk everything rugby league. A bunch of guys giving you armchair expert advice. Thanks for tuning in. We got Callan on my right. I'm Jason. This is Matt. And thanks for joining us. Before we say anything, why don't you give it a like and a subscribe. Share it now in case you get upset with our personal opinions.
You can always unsubscribe later.
No.
You're locked. No, you're not.
Yep. Locked in forever. Great week of rugby league.
Rugby league. Yeah, it was interesting weekend.
Interesting.
There's a few little upsets.
Yeah. How'd you go, Rob?
Yeah, well, my tipping was okay. I got 5 out of 8. Well, how did you go, Jace?
Well, the Sharks won.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Tipped 8 out of 8.
8 out of 8, there you
which
go.
was really awesome. Really excited about the Blue squad
Absolutely.
coming in.
It's been a good week.
Slight segue, Man United are in the Europa Cup final on Thursday. I know this is a rugby league podcast, but I do follow most sport and pretty excited for that as
Who are
well,
they
to be
playing?
honest. Spurs.
Oh, Spurs will win that.
Yeah.
Isn't that Ange Postecoglou?
Yeah. So we're
Didn't he coach
15th on the...
Australia?
He did.
Hey? Yeah.
He goes all right then?
No. Well, they're coming 16th in the Premier League.
Go to Spurs.
But yeah, no, really, really good weekend for me. I enjoyed myself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Happy days.
All right.
Okay, Matt, what's up? You
What's
okay?
up? You all right?
He was
What are
all
you
right.
mad about?
Oh, the Titans lost. Again.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just blew it.
Yeah.
We're not getting into
Anyway.
controversy corner yet, are we?
Well, actually, segue.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking, are we going to segue now? But I'm like, is that too early for a segue?
Well, what else do you want to talk about?
No, I don't know.
If you haven't noticed, Jed's not here with us tonight.
Yeah,
He's,
poor Jed, just recovering. Those roosters, eh?
Hopefully he'll watch this episode. He doesn't normally watch the episodes back.
We miss you, Jed, and we hope you're doing all right. And hope you come good. Next week's not going to get any better for you.
No.
Roosters versus Sharks. We'll get into that a bit later.
But I know Callan's been fuming all week. He's been blowing up the text chats. So let's get on to some controversies. So Callan, what's the bee in your bonnet?
Okay. First of all, I got 2.
Oh,
I've got 2
double
bees
dipping.
in the bonnet, and I need to get both of them out of the bonnet. The first one is in our chat. I don't know if you've noticed in our little group chat that we
No,
have.
I don't read it.
During the week, a guy that isn't present tonight, any guesses, came out and said that he does not really support an Origin team anymore. Now, that's completely okay if you've never really supported an Origin team. But to go from supporting one to not supporting one on the same week,
Sounds like Queensland spirit.
I am appalled by that as a Queenslander. Jed was a diehard Queenslander, and now he's come out and said that he does not support an Origin team anymore. It just reeks of sitting on the fence and going for the winners. My daughter, when she watches the rugby league, she'll look at the score and she'll go, I'm going for the Eels because they were up by 12 points. She always tips the winner. And so, Jeddy, have a bit of conviction.
I thought we weren't naming who it was.
Oh,
I'll tell you
we'll beat that out later on.
Oh, it's too late.
Jeddy, have some conviction. I've just done it again.
Staying in now.
Beep. Have some conviction. Stick with the Maroons. We need your support, and we need you on backing our
I think he's
Queenslanders.
just a bit conflicted.
I don't
Well,
think
what?
it's going to help.
Well,
What's there to be conflicted
well,
about?
he's a blue. He was born in New South, so.
But he's a Queenslander.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he's a Queenslander.
So
Why-
what's the go?
So, no.
here we go.
Is this? You live in Queensland now, and you've been here probably longer than you've been in New South
my
Wales.
opinion is, it is state of origin. The state you originated in, that's your team.
But then
I
that limits it-
originated the mighty Cronulla, and I'm a Blues supporter.
Yeah, but
I have been always.
Well, my nephew was born in the Shire, but he's Queenslander.
I don't think your brother-in-law shouts that very loud. If I if I've heard correctly.
But I gotta say, like, it's got to be what you're brought up in, right? So as a kid, like, a kid could be born in WA, but if they've moved to Queensland, they've gone into the Queensland culture, been brought up as a Queenslander, they're gonna naturally
Like,
want to go.
if you're too soft, that's cool. But
Ooh,
like,
geez, that's
my
a-
entire extended family are born in Queensland. I'm the only one born in New South Wales.
It's what-
And
So,
I chose
alright, here's a-
to stick to where I originated, and I went through a pretty tough 10-year period.
It would have been pretty tough.
But I'm not soft.
Okay, here's another one. How about
How about?
this other mutual friend of ours?
Ooh.
He wasn't born in this country.
Oh,
Born overseas.
yeah.
And he's picked the Blues,
Yeah,
but lives in Queensland.
I think
That's
if
what-
you come over, you get to have a choice, I think.
But
I think you should go
I
where
mean,
I
you
can't
live where you
I
live.
don't-
like, why you would pick the Blues, like, after that giant run, like anyone that's, like, not 12.
It's got to be what you're exposed to. It's the changing teams halfway through that I don't like.
Yeah.
That's a big no-no. But it's what you've been exposed to. If you've been exposed to this culture or that culture, you're naturally gonna go. Well, I'm a Queenslander,
I would
or
say
an
my son is conflicted because we've probably said it a million times, he's a diehard
fan,
Panthers supporter. And so when he sees Critter and Toto and Cleary and Yo, Lenu, all the basically whole Penrith team in that Blues squad, he does have like this, I'm a Queenslander, but
Yeah, so
That's
that,
Nathan Cleary.
that says to me he's a Queenslander at heart. Because
He
seeing all those
struggles.
players,
well, I've told him.
he's a Queenslander at heart. He can't shake that. Because there's no reason for him to like Queensland, but he does,
Yeah.
even though all his favourite players are
He
Blues.
struggles, yeah. I've told him.
I respect that.
I've told him, you're a Queenslander.
Yeah,
mate.
I
You
respect
So
can't.
you're not allowed to change? You don't?
No, hell
You
no.
don't
No
not
way.
like club games?
If you've gotten to an age where
Clubland.
you can make a decision for yourself, you are a Queenslander.
I
See,
think
I used
state of
to-
origin is too important.
When I was a kid, right, this is a confession. We're in the confession corner now.
Okay.
This is a safe space.
Yeah.
I used to watch the internationals. I was probably like 10,
Okay.
8 or 10. And I'd be cheering on Australia. Deep down, I was going for the Kiwis because I just wanted to see them win one.
But see, is
I-
there any connection there?
That
No.
was because they weren't. I had that too because they weren't winning,
The underdogs. It's the
and I
underdog
was
thing.
like, oh, I hope that even when like Tonga play Australia, I'm like, I'm Australian, but I
Yeah.
want to see Tonga do well.
I
It's
love-
just
I love Tonga.
I want to
Okay.
see a better game.
Conrad Hurrell.
So, you ever watched a game when neither of the teams are your favourite teams, but naturally we go for the underdog, the team that's not supposed to win? That's just
Yeah.
Aussie culture, right? We
Yeah.
back the underdog. So I respect that. That's fine. Changing clubs, like the Perth Bears are coming in, so there's a lot of North Sydney fans. A friend of ours who lives up in the north,
I was
he's a
North Sydney
Penrith
supporter.
fan, but he was a North Sydney Bears fan prior to that. Now that they're coming in, well, actually, that's a whole controversy in itself because he doesn't agree with being Perth Bears. But I can understand why he would go jumping from Panthers to Bears because they've come back into the comp, so that's okay.
Oh, is that
But-
because the Panthers are sliding?
well, that's up. I didn't say that person who we are talking about. That was from
yeah,
And that
I'm
is-
saying that.
But that's less
Come at me.
controversial than calling the Bears North Sydney Bears if they're based in Perth, because that would be worse.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So
Well,
there
they've
you
got to be
It's
the
all
Perth
relative.
Bears because the Perth government's chucking in all the money.
So, Jeddy, I've said your name again. Man up. Come and back the Maroons with us.
He
we
will.
need all the
He
support
will.
we can get this year.
Yeah, he will.
I would agree.
Controversy?
No, you were going to double dip.
Oh, I'm going again.
Yeah.
What was the
Okay.
second bee in your bonnet?
Well, the second being my
Sorry.
One.
Like, that would be pretty bad having two Bs. Like, you could try and get rid
One
of one.
would be-
But I'm thinking,
It
like,
That would be worse.
yeah, anyway.
Is Origin related, and we will get to chat about Origin a little
Ooh.
bit later. But how Laurie Daly has not picked Terrell May, and that's not even the controversy in itself. His reasoning was there are better guys out there at the moment. Laurie Daly's words: there are better guys out there. Statistically, the only better forward, and I'm talking statistically, out there at the moment than Terrell May, and if you're listening on Spotify, I am slamming my hand on the table for effect. Statistically, the only better forward at the moment is Payne Haas than Terrell May.
Yep.
What has Terrell...
But not in defence.
He made
Terrell made 60 tackles, no misses.
68 tackles, no misses, according to Fox Sports. But yeah, 60 on
In one game.
one game.
Yeah, that game.
What?
That game they got beaten.
He 200 metres, 68 tackles, no misses.
So if 28 of them were flops, that's still 40 tackles.
100%. Wait, was
Like,
that...
just
Does he
give it
flop?
a...
Does he
Oh, no, I've never
okay.
seen him flop. I'm just saying, even if he did, if it was a numbers thing, someone might say, oh, that's just a stat thing. I'm
And-
saying 40 tackles.
Great for Max King to get into the squad, but there's no way any rugby league fan could look at Max King and Terrell May and go, well, Max King's been playing better than Terrell. Right? You're a Blues fan. Do you agree?
Well, I don't even think Max King is going to be a decent...
I'm not
bench
scared of
player.
Max King. I'm scared of Terrell.
Like,
I'm not scared of Max King.
If you're going to play
Queenslander.
Max King, put him in the starting side and get Barnett on
scared
as
of
an
Barnett.
impact player. I don't understand that even. So, but
That's my controversy. Laurie, wake up to yourself.
There was a report. I saw a reel this week. There was a reporter asking Laurie Daly, and the question was, "Do you hate Queensland?
I heard this.
Do you hate Queensland?" And he goes, "Oh, no, hate's a." I think he
Strong
said
word.
hate's a bit of
Hate's
a
a strong
strong
word,
word. And then it flicked to the guy that's doing the reels. He's like, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get Origin.
oh,
Oh, look, yeah, and we'll talk about Origin later, but that was my two controversies. Nothing really to harp on about, just things that sort of got a little bit
Irks.
agitated this week.
Get you a bit of an
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt, you got one?
Not really.
I've got a third if we want to go there, but we'll probably talk about it in the
Is
game.
it controversial?
It is, but
Yeah?
we'll talk about it probably in the
Okay, we'll talk about it in the game. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. First game of the round, Knights versus Eels. Knights didn't disappoint again. Depends who you ask, actually. If you ask the Eels fans, they didn't disappoint.
Did you guys
28 Eels, 6 Knights.
Did you guys see Adam O'Brien at Centrelink on the weekend?
Yeah,
Do
he
you
should have
know-
been down there if he wasn't already.
Should absolutely.
do you
be
know
there.
what was worse than their performance, which is the big call?
That's a massive call.
His press conference.
Oh, I didn't see
It was
it.
pretty rough.
Didn't see it.
Like, he was just like, nothing. Oh, yeah. No, we sucked again. Yeah.
It's a
Well,
week.
I don't know. I train them to play football, but I made someone the captain, and I'm going to get rid of him next year.
You sound like Adam O'Brien.
Like, that was crap. Anyway, let's talk Addo Carr.
yeah, he's back.
Wow.
He's good, eh?
He, last 2 weeks has been
And
sensational.
didn't even score a try this week, and we're still talking about it.
but he was amazing. Lomax was amazing.
First week back for Lomax too. After
First
that
week
extended
back.
period.
He missed the first goal, but then nailed one from the sideline. I was impressed with that.
He looks good.
He looks good. So he's in the Origin side, obviously too. Might talk about that later, but that was good.
It's
Jack
just
Williams. Jack Williams, who the Sharks let go. He was meant to be the next Paul Gallen. He was meant to be just as good as Paul Gallen when he came in the side. But he was great. His line breaks. The problem with Cronulla was he would make those line breaks and then drop the ball every time, which is why we let him go, I'm pretty sure. But 49 missed tackles to the Eels.
Nights.
Nights.
Yeah, 22.
That's
to the
what I
Eels.
meant that way. Yeah.
That's attitude, right? Sometimes it's a wet game and it's slippery, so you can put down missed tackles to that. But 49, it wasn't wet. It was 6 o'clock game. It's in Newcastle in front of their home crowds, and they dish up something like this to a team that has struggled to get.
Well,
any
a
points
team
on the
with-
board.
Oh,
With-
this
it's a
week
different-
is a different
Different team. Lomax is back. I'm
Moses
still.
is there.
But
Still.
Knights though, with so many potential Origin
Dago's
selections,
300s.
and they couldn't show up. You know
Just
what's going on?
something big's going on.
Poor debutant Hunt.
He was
Lo-
good under the high ball.
He was okay, but Lomax tormented him.
Yeah.
in the game.
Oh, fair enough too.
Yeah.
You're talking about an Origin winger versus a guy that's making his debut. I thought he was the high balls that I saw him catch. He wasn't
He
scared.
dropped a couple
He wasn't scared to. Oh, really?
that I remember.
He wasn't scared to sort of at least go for it.
Yeah, well.
And I back that. I think that's what you
Yep.
want looking for in your players. But where do the Knights go from here?
How can they be so good one week and then so bad the next? They're like the Titans. They really are.
Yep. And they've
Just
lost
effort.
Saifidi now.
Is Dylan Brown next year going to turn this team around? Or they're just going to go on the same trajectory?
What's another 5'8" / fullback going to do for them?
Well, I've also heard.
Do you know what they even said? Hunt that came in on the wing is a 5'8" as well. How many 5'8" do you want to put in your side?
I've also heard that KP is looking at possibly an early release.
Really?
I'd go.
Where's he going to go, though? Who can afford him?
Right.
His money's going.
But he had an opportunity to be the Dolphins' marquee man,
KP.
and he scoffed at Wade Bennett. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Look, both these teams are going to finish bottom 8. I know the Eels are a different team under Moses, but I still don't see them finishing top 8.
They've got to win a lot of games.
So, yeah, look, sucks for the Knights fans. I really feel for the Knights fans because they do have a great supporter base.
They keep showing up.
Keep turning up, and then they keep dishing out these performances. The Cowboys have a slogan in their shed. It's something along the lines of paraphrasing. These fans that you're about to run out to are the reason why you're here. Go out and play for them. At the end of the day, without those fans, the Knights aren't a club. So I don't know who has to punch that message into their heads, but it's like, you guys don't have a job without
They're
these
not
guys.
crap players.
No.
It's not like
That's
the
why it's
Tigers.
frustrating.
Like the Tigers last year, no offense to the Tigers, but they were all fringy players, and you're like, they're doing their best.
Yeah.
They're just not good enough.
Yeah.
That Newcastle side should not be missing 45 tackles. That's effort.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, second game on the Friday. Dogs versus Roosters. 24-20.
It's a good game.
The Roosters are winning.
How was that try?
Noah Nakawizi.
No one in Nikawaza. No one in Nikawaza, mate.
Yeah.
No one in Nikawaza.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry,
Marky Mark.
He watches this.
His
Try of the century.
Oh, amazing.
Skill.
Awesome. The first time I saw the Bulldogs with a game plan, normally I think their game plan is just like, let's just go as hard and fast as we could.
Or Burton Bomb.
The Burton Bomb was back, actually, mind you. They went right, they went left, and then cut back in, and they scored most of their tries. Cherry, Kickow, Burton, cutting back in through the middle.
Yeah.
They identified something there with the Roosters, where they'd come out but they'd cut in. Because I kept going, why are they going left? You got Critter and you had Carraz out there. I'm like, give them the ball. What are you doing? But they had this. They identified it, and then went back in. I thought that's some good coaching.
It was 14-0 at half time, and the Dogs have done this. They were down 20-0 last week against the Raiders. So they're doing this thing where they're letting teams get out and coming on and just piling on the pressure in the second half, almost like an ambush kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what I think they did is the Roosters left, so the Roosters' right side, it's Nwanganitawaze, his side defensively has been very poor this year. And so if you look at, that is the side Kickow was running at, I think that was their plan, is to start targeting that side. When they started doing that, gap started to appear.
Back in the middle.
So it was very Sorrell. I think they split us down to Sorrello. He would have seen something in that first half and said, hey, I've noticed this.
It was great.
It's a sign of a good team.
Have the Dogs proved themselves to be top of the ladder?
I think
Do you
so,
think they are?
I think they've
legitimate?
won every way possible.
Yeah.
So
They literally have.
And they've got some players out.
They got some depth as well. Yeah.
Out at the moment, and they're gonna. And again, they don't miss. They miss Crichton and Max King now for Origin. And Max King's their only front rower too, so that might have an effect.
In Roosters' defence, they have improved a lot from the start of the year.
Oh yeah.
They're a lot better team. So what Robbo's got going on up there is really great.
And we don't mention enough that Walker will come back in the side.
Yeah.
So if they're hanging in there and Walker gets back in,
If they're around 10th or 11th, they did this.
And
they've done
Walker's
this for a
on.
few years, haven't they? They've sort of made a run late to get into the finals. So, hang in there, Roosters fans. You guys look okay. I'm sure they'll just buy more players next year, won't they? That's what they do, just buy
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
So.
Well, there was a news article I read the other
The
day.
Tigers are the ones that grow talent for others, don't they?
Yeah. There was a news article I read that their recruitment has been quite poor and their forward prospects aren't looking too good too for the Roosters, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, these young guys coming through that they're blooding now.
Uncle Nick will fix that.
Yeah.
You're right.
They got to open.
They tried to buy Fafita.
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, I don't know. He probably should have taken
You
it.
probably
dodged
wish
a
they
bullet,
took it.
didn't
Probably
they?
should have taken it. He was playing pretty good though when they offered him that contract. It's just issues dropped off. Anyway, we're not talking about the Titans. We're talking about Dolphins versus
Before we
Warriors.
get into controversy, can I say
This is a great game.
good on the Warriors.
Dolphins
They are
won.
doing
Wow.
so well. Their for and against, I think, is like 2. Yet they're on second on the ladder, which is quite...
Yeah, 5.
5. 5 for and against. I keep looking over here. It's right in front of me. Good on the Warriors. Metcalf. Like, after the first game, we all said, Metcalf, what are you doing? And
Hasn't he turned a corner?
Bloke in the bar said at the start of the year, if someone said you could have 2 Metcalfs and 1 Adam Reynolds, what would you pick? And most people would say 1 Adam Reynolds, but gee, Metcalf's been steering this ship.
Yeah, so RTS was back this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger. He's back.
Uncle Roger.
Oh, look, it was the Dolphins. They've kind of they had that run where they put 40 points on the Storm. They won 4 games in a row. They've kind of hit a
They weren't looking too bad though. They weren't looking too bad at the start.
Yeah, they completed
Start
the
of the
Dolphins at 74%, so they kind of kept themselves in there, but the Dolphins need to complete up at 80, 90 to be winning games.
Statistically, the Warriors don't look that far ahead, but at the end of the day, like, they're winning games. And you know what I've noticed about the Warriors? It's their line speed in attack.
Yeah.
So when they're in attack, they're not just sort of they're at you 100 miles an hour. And the idea is to try and cut down the decision-making time. That's what I've noticed them as a team, is they're trying to cut down the defensive time that you have to make a decision. Am I jamming or am I sliding
The team
out?
looks like Mitch Barnett.
Yeah, yep.
They look like him.
Yep.
He's the captain. He leads all the kick chasers. The front rower. And he gets up there, attacks everything. I think it was good.
They're a top 4. They're genuine top 4 team.
Genuine. Well, I had them winning the comp.
I think
you had them up there.
I had them up there, and I still think, hey, they'll come good. I don't know if that was this year or last year, because we can't work that out.
We did try to find it.
But there was a blatant knock-on that led to the first try.
I'll go a step further and say, as it was a blatant knock-on, right?
Yeah.
Regardless. But even if you were blind Freddy, and there's a few out there, if by some miraculous reason you thought it was knocked back, his own player was offside and grabbed the ball anyway. So the ref, 1, he misses the knock-on, but 2, even if he calls it backwards, his player was offside. He wasn't allowed to touch it anyway, and he missed that as well.
And if the ref maybe wasn't looking, he was looking at the kicker or something.
He was looking at the birds in the sky.
Even if he wasn't looking, now controversially, why is the touch judge there?
2 touch judges.
What are they doing? Why are they on the field?
So first of all, the knock-on was as blatant a knock-on as you'd ever seen. And then second of all,
Player
even if
was
it is
offside.
backwards, fair enough, you missed it, it's backwards. He was offside, it should have been a penalty.
And was it Roger?
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
Oh no, who got the ball? Whoever got the ball literally went,
I'm offside.
I'm offside.
He gave himself
it's a
up.
knock on. And then they just kept playing. And
couldn't believe it.
every player on the field was like, what's going on? To the point, then they just made the break and went through
It
because
was a double winning.
yeah.
So why did the bunker not intervene with that then?
Because there was no stop and play.
Well, it was 2 plays later they scored.
Yeah. They can't go back that far. And they won't stop. The bunker won't intervene if it's a continual play. But
Surely they should be in their ear going, yeah, you missed the knock on there.
I've heard that ref this week is on on holiday.
Oh, he's having a break.
He's having a break, but that could also be to do with the fact that there's only 5 games this week.
Oh, yeah. I get.
It's not a crackdown on his performance.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's what you're suggesting, it's not a crackdown.
But just come out and say, hey, yeah, we stuffed this up.
All right. Are you avoiding talking about this game, or can we move on?
Oh, no, we can move on. The Cowboys didn't play this week.
Cowboys.
Literally didn't play.
Cowboys Manly 6-24. I tipped Cowboys too.
Good on you. No,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm just salty.
I
Yeah,
did
I'm
not.
salty too because they were rubbish.
Do you know what? That's exactly what we were. We started with so many opportunities at the start of this game to score, and Manly were very, very gritty in defence, and it's like someone got a pin and popped the balloon, and it was like, oh, well, we're not going to score against these guys, and that was it. We just started going away from what's been working for us for the last 6 weeks, and it was really frustrating to watch. Like, what do you just stick to what you know? Stick to what's been working.
Tom Lolo didn't play,
We're missing Cotter and Tamalolo.
and I think
Big difference.
And you
but
were
still.
missing them at the start of the year when we all thought you were going to
We went
lose your coach.
0-3, yeah.
I think Tom Malolo is way more important than we realised.
Probably.
And it's probably, and I didn't realise, maybe, but it's probably a bit of leadership. I didn't know. I know he's a captain, but it really doesn't mean anything.
And we were experimenting with Purdue and the halves too.
Yeah, which he didn't have a bad game.
He was fine. Everyone's going, oh, this
Yeah.
is the... No, he was actually pretty good. The plan is, because Dearden will be away for Origin, the plan is Purdue will fill in that role.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I'm not too fussed. Like Manly were very gritty. They deserved the points in this game.
Yeah.
The Cowboys had an off game. And it's the first off game that we've had since round 3. Oh, round 2 probably. Round 3.
I felt Manly felt the loss last weekend.
Hurt 'em.
And I really thought they would come out. And I think they thought they would fancy their chances against the Cowboys.
To be fair, Manly weren't overly great.
They
but
weren't.
They were gritty. They were very
But Turbo
gritty.
did blow a few tries. He
Yeah.
could have ended up with a hat-trick.
Absolutely, I agree.
So he wasn't his best, Turbo, but
Jack
also he could have ended up with a hat-trick.
Jack got knocked out.
Hey, how good was
that?
that for the Blues? Like, they didn't have to make the call.
Yeah.
But did you see him?
He
He was
was
asking the guy, like, what?
He
where
was-
am I? What,
he was
can I?
well
What?
out.
He was
Am
on
I-
another planet.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad in the slow-mo.
So
We hope he's all right.
Look, it sucks,
He's
but-
at that point of his year.
He's
too.
had, that's his second for the year too.
Yeah, I think.
So
I
that's
think
like,
his care's winding down.
it's
Like,
Victor Radley territory, that one.
You don't want to be doing that every week.
How many errors did the Cows have?
a lot. 14 to 15. That's actually not
That's not
too
too
bad.
bad.
Manly had more errors.
Well, it's even.
Yeah, we went away from what's been working for us. I think that's what's frustrating.
37
missed tackles.
They are-
Do you think it was
Oh my gosh.
Peyton getting sanctioned by the NRL? Don't bag out our referees again, or are you going to get deregistered?
I don't think so.
I
Like
reckon they did
Todd does have a whinge from time to time. Who doesn't?
Apparently every game he whinges.
Yeah, who doesn't? How
Last year he
Todd
did.
is on his last warning and Ricky Stewart isn't? That's where the joke comes into this.
Well,
It's like,
because
come
Peyton
off
whinges
it.
when he wins and he loses, whereas Stewart only whinges when he's losing.
So who is going to keep the refs?
No.
accountable?
Stewart whinges when there's a game coming up he wants to win.
Exactly right.
I don't think it's as blowy uppy as we think.
So, question.
I think it's strategic.
Genuine
Super
question.
strategic.
If the refs aren't allowed, the coaches aren't allowed to talk about the refs after the game, who is there to keep accountability on the refs? Who is allowed to talk about them?
The NRL.
Exactly. So why it's a dictatorship, isn't it? Don't you dare talk about
the NRL
us.
don't. The NRL don't care. They love the publicity. It's people talking about the game.
I struggle because we need refs.
Absolutely.
And I struggle because I don't want it to get to a point where refs are getting bagged every week and we don't have refs anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Very cool.
there's a fine line there to protect the refs. So I wouldn't want them, but
The problem is.
But
that,
an example, we're about to talk about the Sharks Storm game. A good example would be Fitzgibbon came out and said, we got the run of the ball in the first half. We got all the good calls. And Bellamy came out and said, yeah, the second half really favoured us.
Fitzy can whinge though. I've seen him
So,
whinge a couple of times. Every coach does it, but yeah, he's right.
Well, every coach can have a week,
Colin-
but that was a good example. I don't know how you make that and sort of protect the refs if you're allowed to go at them.
But then the same argument, people will say, well, the players get player has a bad game, people come out and bag them. Why can't we bag
Players
refs?
are on a lot more money than a ref.
They're on 150k a year, the refs. It's pretty good, if you ask me.
It's okay, but it's not.
It's enough to get your job right. More often than not.
Spot on. If I make too many mistakes at work, I won't have a job.
Yeah. Anyway.
I seem to be doing all right.
The problem is the money, right? If betting was illegal
That's it.
on NRL,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a problem because no one would care.
Yeah.
Oh, my team lost. Oh, well. Oh, I just put $500 on the other team and the ref cost me the game and I lost all my money.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's
the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Is the betting.
Yep.
Good wisdom.
All right.
Anyway,
Good wisdom.
controversial.
We should end the episode there.
All right.
talk about the
We'll see you
Sharks.
next week. Have a great life. No, I'm just kidding. Don't go. Sharks versus Storm, 31-26. Coates with a triple.
This was a cracker of a game.
Ronaldo was
It
great,
was-
I thought.
I was on
Kennedy.
the edge of my seat. Kennedy was shocker. Flipping back to his non-Dally self.
Well, he's been bumped off top place now.
He
Oh.
was
Metcalf's
he was
first.
pretty average.
Oh, it was a shocker.
I thought at the first, Anderson scoring in that 4th minute, great ball from Munster.
Oh,
I thought, the Storm are just going to continue on from the previous week against the
Yeah.
Tigers.
yeah.
But
So it was the kicking that did it. Pappy only got 3 from 5.
very unhappy.
Hines 5 from 5. And then Sharks with a field goal.
Nico looks really good.
Away.
Well, and Munster looked really good as well. They both did well. Yeah, it's good. There was some evident good game plans. Ronaldo over Farlogo and Coates.
There's like a 2
in the
foot-
end up over
Atkinson.
Atkinson. There was like a really
That
big
was a
difference.
spectacular.
There's like a 2 foot height discrepancy.
On both.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is going to lose their nerve first and move one of their players? And in the end, it was the Sharks had to move Ronaldo at the end because we were winning. And we had to protect that lead. Just a really... There was tries, but it was still a really solid game. And I don't think we missed too many tackles. There was some some of those tries for the Storm were just Coates being ridiculous Coates.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
20
look at
and
that.
23, so pretty good.
That's great.
88. Both competed at 75, I think. It's 76, 72. So both competed that. The Storm had more ball by 1%. It was an even.
This
Even
year,
game.
this year, I feel like scorelines are a lot higher than previous years. So, I know 31-26 people go, oh, high scoring game, where's all the defence gone? In previous years, you'd be okay with scorelines of 18-6 or 16-4. This year, it's completely different. There are a lot of higher scorelines. So I think this is about average, 30-26.
Well, the Coates tries,
Oh, freakish.
no one
How do you stop that?
no one is stopping that.
Yeah, you can.
So he literally climbed up Atkinson and stood on him and grabbed the ball. A little bit of exaggeration, but
Well, he did. His knee was on his shoulder when he caught it.
it was you just can't stop that.
I wonder if he's been down at one of the AFL clubs getting some
100% he
some
has.
coaching.
Yeah, I'm happy with the Sharkies.
Yeah,
and I'm happy
absolutely,
how
he
he's
should be.
going.
Yeah.
Is Iro eligible for anything? Do you guys know? Queensland and New South Wales? I'm just
question,
surprised
not
he
sure.
hasn't been
Snavel.
approached for. I know
Snavel.
he goes for Cook Islands.
If he was a Queenslander, he'd be in our side.
I just
So-
when they were wondering whether they should put Turbo in, I'm like, gee, Iro is fastly
it's
becoming
like-
one of my favourite players.
Well, there's speculation that Turbo's still nursing his injury. He hasn't come back.
He's been
recovered.
injured for 10 years.
Yeah, but he normally has a few
about
good
right,
games.
actually.
I'm
before he
not
gets injured
joking.
again.
I'm serious.
he has
He's
been.
always nursing something.
Sunday game, Broncos,
Oh, what a
Dragons.
game
Broncos
this
have a
was.
really poor record. The 2
the sun.
o'clock time slot at home.
Yeah.
I don't think they've won at 2 o'clock on a Sunday for 8 games or 9 games or something like that. Dragons, that first try was a bit dodgy, if you ask me, for the Dragons.
Oh, the forward pass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Mams-
that
Mams
was the
forward pass.
Broncos dodgy
That
one.
was
No, the Dragons dodgy one where it looked like a knock on and he's fallen and he's just got a finger on it and
okay. I thought it was alright.
No, I thought it was a bit dodgy. Anyway,
It was-
Well, I tipped Broncos to win,
Yeah.
so
Well, I
Bit
tipped
of
the
a
Dragons
vested
to win.
interest in it.
Couldn't have been
so-
as dodgy as Shibasaki's try. Ezra Mam threw it about 1,000 metres
What
forward.
we're
Even-
saying is, if that was like a 20-metre pass, it goes 7 metres forward.
Easy, like it was because it was a short pass. It didn't have the chance to go as forward as what it could have. But
And-
even my wife, who's a passionate Broncos fan, was like, "Yeah, that's forward."
And again, why can't the refs see the direction of the hands? And why can't anyone see when someone goes up to contest a ball where the hand is?
I thought the
And if
bunker.
it hits the hand, it's going back.
I thought the bunker could rule on forward passes in a try-scoring situation.
No,
They've
not a
never- they've never
try.
been able to
They can rule it on a tap on.
tap. Yeah. Anything that's wrong with us.
Can I go back one point?
Yeah.
Here we go.
There was a moment in the Sharks Storm game. I
That
don't know if
tap
you
on?
guys
The
caught
tap-
it.
tap.
No, not the tap on.
Oh.
The tap on was Teleco was amazing,
Yeah.
by the way. There was a moment where the Sharks made a mistake. It was a forward pass or a something, and we didn't get pinged for it. And the player went to get tackled, and the Storm players were like, "Hold on him, give away a penalty,
Yeah.
so we can go
Yeah, I
back
did
and
see that.
challenge it." And I'm like, "Ooh,
They were
that's
not
a
allowed to
new, That's a new thing." And the Sharks guy's like, "Oh, I'm gonna play the ball," and he's trying to get out to play the ball,
Actually-
so he didn't get a penalty.
That's actually not a new thing.
No, they called that. They stopped doing that
So
like 2 seasons
it was
ago.
a couple of seasons ago, and it was a Melbourne Storm game, and Cameron Munster. I remember it clearly. It was Cameron Munster. Clearly, someone else, the other team, knocked on or something. So he deliberately grabbed the other team, pushed him onto the ground to get a penalty, and then challenged it. And they came down and said, "All right, if you deliberately cause a penalty, you won't be allowed to challenge anymore." So it is a rule. They did clamp down.
It wasn't just
Oh,
once.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it
they
It wasn't
were-
just once.
multiple.
They were doing it all
Okay.
season.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but it was probably in my
Yeah.
real hatred of the Storm time.
You would
And
have.
everything just annoyed me. But I thought, oh, okay, that's a precedent we probably don't want to go down. so
No,
I'm glad there's a thing
definitely.
there.
It's been brought up
But
before.
yeah, it was the Sharks did do something dodgy, like not dodgy, but like it was a full pass or something.
dodgy, not peptides, dodgy.
So Sloan,
peptides.
Sloan with back to this game. Sloan with a double. Gutherson with a double. Holmes kicking was a lot better this week than last week.
It was good, eh?
Just in time for Origin, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, another week. Broncos blow a halftime lead.
Yeah, what is?
How many errors did they have
They've
on
had
that?
five losses from 6 games now.
Missed
the Bronx.
tackles.
Where are we? Missed tackles. 31 to 28.
Oh,
to the
okay, so
Bronx.
that's not too bad.
Nah, it's just
13 errors though.
I saw Cam Smith on 100% Footy come out and he made a good point. He said the question was, "What's wrong with the Broncos?" And under Seabold, the players had an issue with Seabold. He's too technical. And then under Kevy, the issue was he's too much of a friend. Like he's not hard enough. Now the issue under Madge is he's too harsh. And Cam Smith was just, "Boys, grow up, get out there, play footy, stop making excuses for coaches, toughen up." And I actually think that's probably a bit of what's going on. It just sounds like something. It's always something with the coach. He's too this, he's too that, he's too this. And players need to take accountability of themselves in the Bronx. They've got an amazing roster. They have a top 4 roster. You agree?
Yeah,
Yeah?
There is a problem.
definitely top 6.
Yeah.
That they're still trying to spin the ball wide when they've got arguably the best 4 pack in the game.
Yeah.
And why they are not just hunting it down the middle, it makes no sense.
The
Probably
second
trying to put
phase
too much
play off
flair on it.
The offload from Payne is where you watch the games that they've won. It's the second phase. Payne would go up.
Yeah.
He'd turn his back into the fence. He'd get the offload, and it's that second phase play. Billy or Corey Pace would go up through the middle, and then Reece Walsh would. I know Reece isn't playing at the moment.
Yeah.
Reece Walsh would be there to support. They'd make a break, and that's where they'd score their
Like,
points.
what team contains them if they just keep hammering in the middle? Haas, Carrigan,
Haas,
whoever
Carrigan,
plays
Haas,
lock.
Carrigan.
They'll
It's
all
just-
eventually break.
Like,
I don't know. It's,
Yeah.
Their defence needs work.
so,
But,
yeah.
but again, we're talking about a coach who didn't. This is not his roster. This is not Madge inherited this roster.
Yeah, I know, but they did ask him. They're like, are they doing what you asked?
What did he say?
And he said, "Oh, sometimes you have to go around teams." And I'm like, is he protecting the players not listening to him?
Interesting.
Or was that really his plan? Because that's a bad plan.
Okay.
Anyway, Dragons, good on them.
Good on the Dragons. They needed that
Gutsy
win.
win.
Well, they needed that.
Oh, Matt, do you want to talk about this one?
Look, Raiders, Titans at GIO. Raiders 40, Titans 24. Yeah, look, Titans were keeping up, I would say, for most of the first half,
37
and then they just disappeared. Raiders, they are looking good. They are looking sharp this year. Who was their player that's just come back? Was it Hauri Anara?
No, he's back, but he didn't play.
Who was their player that just came back? He had the on-field seizure like 2 seasons ago.
Oh, that is Haru Nara, but he didn't play.
I thought he played on the weekend.
Did he?
Pretty sure he did.
Having a look. No.
Oh, unless he's
Mariota.
playing reserve
What
grade.
I think you're thinking, you're crossing it. Hosking has come
No,
back.
it wasn't Hosking.
And he played in the back row for the first time and killed it.
But yeah, I know the guy who had the fit is Haru Nara.
Oh, it must have been reserves then. But he played on the week. I read the thing this week. He played on the
It would
weekend,
have been
so I don't know what that was.
most likely, yeah.
Anyway, he had a blinder of a game. So, anyway, I detract. Raiders, well done. Up the milk. Green machine.
Titans issue, I want to point out when I find it again because it's gone.
You don't have to point too hard.
34 missed tackles compared to the Raiders' 16 missed tackles.
Well, 34 is in the realm of most teams,
Yeah,
but
but
it's the 16 missed tackles.
It was a dry
Do you know
game.
what's
from the
not in the
Raiders.
realm? 31 ineffective tackles, which
Yep.
was those offloads.
in a
that
dry,
just-
sunny game too.
But
Killed them.
you know what they do though is they tackle standing up.
Yeah.
They have 2 guys come into a tackle,
Yeah.
and then they get pushed 5-10 meters.
They
hold on to
never,
the guy and not
they
get
never
him to the
put him
ground.
on the ground. That was what Cowboys were guilty of last year.
Anyway, we're on the bottom of the ladder.
Alright.
It's not looking
All right, let's have a tiny break before we get to Tigers
good. Ooh,
Rabbits.
saving the best till last.
Ooh.
Alright, we'll be back in a sec. West Tigers versus Rabbitohs down at Campbelltown. Tigers 12, Rabbitohs 22. Tigers better.
Appy nearly won this game
Appy was
himself. Appy stepped Latrell
Oh,
twice.
broke Latrell's
exactly
ankles.
that. And Latrell standing there going, I don't know what happened. The cameraman missed it and went, hold on, Appy still got the ball.
Go for it too.
If the cameraman misses it, Appy is such a good player.
Yeah, watch the highlights. He was on fire.
Bunnies have turned
He
the
is
corner.
great.
Look at that 88% completion rate in a wet game too. Like it was raining, so I'm really impressed with that. Defensively,
Oof. Scroll back up again.
missed
40
tackles.
missed tackles versus 38.
Yeah,
so
it was a wet game. though,
wet
but
game. 27 missed ineffective tackles for Rabbitohs.
Look, both teams
So-
still not making the 8 at the end of the day, but good to see the Bunnies chuck
I
some
don't
wins
know.
on the board.
Rabbitohs are looking good. Not like it really makes a difference when you've got that 1 or 2 players. Campbell Graham was awesome. He was so good. Colomatangi was awesome.
In the front row. That made a
Is
big
he Origin?
with
Does he play Origin?
Yeah, but they didn't.
he
select
should
him.
have played Origin.
Oh, he's been great.
If he was in the front row for the last 4 weeks, he plays Origin.
Yep, I agree.
Um,
He's one of those standout players.
but with because Aitken was out, but with Aitken coming into the back row, I don't know. I think this side that they're getting now, you chuck Walker back in there. I don't know why all the Walkers are out. But
Walker's off.
I don't know when he comes back. But you put Walker in there, and that side is coming to get you.
So Tigers were better, but they had a few errors. Galvin had a few.
Luai's
had an
not really hitting his pay packet just yet.
Well, he missed out on Origin too, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
in the future.
Another one.
But yeah, look, Rabbitohs on the up. Tigers
Bunnies.
floating around.
So the
that
Rabbits
mid-pack.
snuck in the 8 there on 7. So I mean, if they're in the 8 when Walker comes back, I reckon they're making noise.
So the ladder as it stands, Doggies, Warriors, Raiders, Storm are our top 4. Sharks, Manly just keeping in there. Rabbitohs, Cows round out the top 8. Broncos just dropped out. Still got a heap of teams on the 10 points. We've got 4 teams on 10. And then the bottom 5, 1 point separates.
Mm.
And that was because of the Panthers' draw. So poor old Titans on the bottom. Panthers have moved up to 13th.
Yeah.
There you go.
Didn't see that coming.
No.
I said they were still getting in the 8 if
They're
we
still
go back.
still paying $14 for premiers.
Well, 9's not too far away from 11, and if you get 11, you're in the 8. So they're not too far off the pace.
You reckon they can do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You reckon?
I
They'll
reckon.
get up. They get up for the pressure.
Back end of the season,
All right.
they'll step up.
We'll see who gets into Junior Origin.
Shall we go and do some tips?
Yeah, we'll take another quick break and then we'll be back with the tips.
First game on Thursday night, we've got the Bulldogs, first place, playing the Dolphins, 14th place, at Acres Stadium. Doggies only losing Max King and Crichton. They do have Carraz out of injury.
Yeah.
I don't know if they get anyone back. The Dolphins are missing Hammer, which I think is like a 90% of their attack.
Josh Curran's back for
And-
the Dogs.
Josh Curran is back. Dogs.
Should we do 3, 2, 1?
Nah, because we can't even hear it after we do
It
that.
was pretty funny though. I listened to it
Yeah.
back during the week. Yeah, Dogs, I'd have to say for this one.
Go on the Doggies. You can't tip against them.
Can I just say quickly, I have a feeling that during the Origin period, it's predominantly home teams that win.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. I like that.
I think that is a thing.
Okay.
So fact check me.
Well, these top of the table teams don't have a lot of people out either. So it's going to hurt the Panthers more than anything.
Titans, we got 3 reps.
Well, no.
How's that?
You
We're
got 3
17th
reps.
and we got our
Panthers
whole
have
forward
got
pack.
5. The Knights have got a couple. All right, Friday night, 8 p.m. If you're up that late, Eels versus the Seagulls. Eels are missing Mitch Moses and Zach Lomax, and we know what they're like
I think that's
without Mitch
big
Moses and Zach Lomax. The Seagulls are missing
DC.
Sherry Evans. Probably a bit of a benefit there, although he
Oluwatu
went all
get in?
right on the
I
weekend.
think Oluwatu's
He's 20th man. but
20th man, so he'll come back and play for the super coaches out there.
I'll go Manly.
Manly easy, I think.
Normally.
Yeah, I'm thinking Manly might do it. Eels are a different team without Moses, and they're even different without
And,
Lomax.
Lomax, yeah.
So
Then we move to Saturday, 5:30 p.m. At Bathurst.
Yeah.
Move
Ooh.
this one to Bathurst.
On the
Panthers
racetrack.
did.
Bathurst.
They don't have a home ground, so why not? Penrith are playing Knights. Penrith have a heap out,
This will be the game that Knights have to prove that they can win a game.
but it's a pongerless, bestless Knights. And also
they might go
Saifidi.
all right then.
I'm pretty sure Saifidi's
Saifidi's
out
injured,
as well.
Yeah.
And Thompson is out.
Oh, I'm gonna.
The Knights
that's
should win,
But they're
Can you
$3.
tip them though?
but
$3.20.
no way.
I'm gonna tip Penrith.
I think Penrith.
That's a hard game to tip though.
The guys coming in for Penrith have all had a bit of a go lately.
Yeah.
So
Does Penrith have that same depth as what they've had the last few years?
no, but they played the first 5 games, like Schneider and McLean and
Oh yeah.
and they got Matt Eisenhuth coming in for whatever the captain's name is.
Yo-yo.
Yo-yo. So they got some
Yo-yo.
experience coming in too, which is helpful.
Yeah, okay. It's a
Who
tough
does
one.
the Knights have coming in to replace Ponga? I just don't think it's good enough.
Yeah.
Penrith.
Penrith,
I think on that advice, I'm going to have to tip Penrith as well.
I know that sounded really, really like I thought about it. I'm not as sure as I sound often.
Well, this is the Outside Man podcast. We know what we're talking
We
about.
are.
What I
Armchair
am
expert.
certain about is it's Saturday at 7:35. The mighty Cronulla Sharks are going to send the Roosters packing
To the
in
moon.
Gosford.
I don't know. I don't know.
If you want to go and have a look at the Roosters forward pack they're setting up, if they get behind, I don't think they're going to have it.
Sharkies by 35.
I don't know. Sharks have a hot game, then a cold game, then
Yeah,
a
but-
hot game.
But not
See,
against a weak team.
We've won the last 7 in a row.
Yeah, so you're overdue for
And
a
we
loss.
haven't even had a bye.
Yeah. Nico's not going to show up. Trindle's going to have a shocker.
All right.
You know,
Just
Put your money where your mouth is.
Talakai's going to get knocked out in the first 5 minutes.
Put your money where your mouth is.
No,
and
no,
show
I'm
us
tipping
when you're
Sharks.
tipping out. No.
Talakai's on the bench, so how's he getting?
All right,
are they
sure.
having a blow up on the bench?
All right, maybe 35 minutes.
What do you want to?
Do you think I should tip the Roosters?
Go for
Jed?
it. Do it.
I don't know.
Jed won't even tip the Roosters. He
Can
will
I?
tip the
No,
Sharks.
No,
Can
he will tip.
He won't. He doesn't.
Can I
100%.
say, for the record, for everyone, tell Jason he won't want to see me, Jed, next week after my Roosters put 50 on them
There you go.
this weekend.
See, that there is enough confidence for me.
We'll
to
see
tip
you
the
next
Roosters.
week,
I
Jed.
bet you he still tips the Sharks.
Cronulla for the win. You kidding
I'm
yourself?
going Cronulla. Who you got, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't lose anyone for Origin either.
Well, in that case, Sharks then.
This next game is a cracker for this bye round.
It shouldn't be in this bye round.
Warriors v Raiders. They only lose one player each, Barnett and Hudson Young. Arguably great players, but I think that evens it out. And both will be able to be covered. 4 p.m. Sunday. This is going to be great.
Yeah,
2v3. There can't be any excuses like, we didn't have. I think
This could be a grand final preview.
this very well could be. Well, I got Warriors in my top of the table.
I'm going the Raiders.
Ooh.
In Auckland.
I said it. I'm going the Raiders.
You know-
I got a feeling, guys.
You know, the Warriors are due for a loss.
I got a
and
feeling.
if they're going to lose, they normally do lose in Auckland.
Go on the green machine.
Wow.
The milk.
They're back home. They're comfortable.
No.
It's
Yeah, well.
probably cold in
Mm.
New Zealand this time of year.
Probably cold.
Auckland, does it get wet in Auckland?
Have you been to
No,
Auckland?
I've never
Yeah, it
been to
does.
Auckland.
I've never been to Auckland,
I've been
so
to
I
Auckland.
can't. Was it cold when you went?
Is it nice?
Cold, wet, and
Or
dark.
is it just Sydney?
Okay,
with
so it's always
lots more
cold,
people?
wet, and
I'll be honest, it was like a 2-minute stopover flight on the way back to
you
New
can't
Zealand.
judge
No, Callan said it's always cold, wet, and dark. Hopefully they turn the lights
Plenty of
on.
Kiwis there.
Warriors, easy.
Oh, wow. Okay, I love it.
Well, RTS is back. Nickel Clockstad, is he in?
Yeah, he's
Is
in.
he?
Crookstart,
He's
yep.
back in.
He's
Chance.
there. RTS is back.
Yeah.
DWZ is back. They're looking. Metcalf, they got the guy who's not Tare Martin.
Chanel.
Egan
Harris
is
beat him.
killing it.
I think
Fish
I'm
is
gonna have
back.
to go. I think I'm gonna have to go Warriors.
Ooh,
This
love
one.
it.
I think I will.
Great.
Do you know everything I just said? I could go through and say it for the Raiders too. I'm not as confident as I sound, but I'm going for Warriors.
I think the
North.
Warriors have been a bit more consistent though.
And then
The Raiders team that lost 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that team could show up.
Bronx, Cows, Dragons, Bunnies, Storm, Titans, Tigers have the bye.
Storm have 2 buys in 4 weeks.
Yes.
I think that'd be a bit more of a detriment.
Yeah,
than
I
a
don't like
benefit. Don't you think? Or
Well, they got the Origin players. What I think is a detriment to is they've just played 12 games straight, and then they've got to play 12 games straight.
Yeah. Oh, so-
Like-
yeah, but 2 years ago, no one had buys. Whereas this one, you're getting them. Or was it
I
3 years ago?
never really thought about that.
Yeah,
point,
3 years
Matt.
ago, no one got buys.
Cronulla have all our buys coming up, so that's pretty good for us.
I think that would be.
Hang on, is that right? Was there no buys back in the day?
No, there was one. There was always a buy.
There was.
Oh, during the
Yeah.
Origin period, because they'd had to reduce numbers of games. But
Yeah.
no regular season buys. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
Alright.
it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Can you please give it a like and a share? Share it with your friends. They want to know what we've got to say, and even if they don't, just spring it on them.
Also, for those wondering why we haven't spoken about State of Origin,
It's coming.
it's coming, all right? Because I know there'll be a few listeners. My wife will be listening. Going, "Hey,
We
State of
do
Origin."
need to apologise though, because I'm pretty sure we did announce at the start of this episode that we were going to talk about it. But during one of those extended ad breaks, we decided it's probably better
Yeah,
off
we're
as
on
a
the fly
standalone
here.
episode.
We thought you'd want 2, so we're doubling your content.
Double it up.
We
Double
need
the
the-
editing for
We need the
Matto.
extra bank this week from
Matt's
our...
gonna have enough to do.
I had to spare 5 minutes, so I had to fill it up.
Yep.
Anyway.
Thanks, Matto.
Anyway, thanks guys. We'll see you real soon.
Catch ya.
Have a good life.